He did not grow a head at the
no head on my arm
site.
And everything feels fine.
Yeah, he was sore for a little bit, but now he's good.
Yeah, it was only about 3 days. Three.
Any side effects that we should know about?
No, it was just very, very painful. My arm.
He forgot to mention there was one side effect, actually 2 side effects. 6-pack abs, so he has those now, and his penis has gotten bigger.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I forgot about both of those.
We tell them that so they'll get the vaccine.
Yeah. All right, go get vaccinated if you want a bigger dick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you'll get a bigger penis, 6-pack abs, and then ladies, you will get a sense of self-worth because we all need that. Welcome.
Willkommen.
What?
Willkommen.
Well, yeah, that. Welcome.
Willkommen zu die 24, I don't know how to say episode.
Welcome to the 24th episode of Beer and Fear. My name is Paige.
Mein Name ist Zach.
And just so you know, the entire episode is going to be Zach speaking German, me speaking English,
ja, ich werde sprechen Deutsch.
And not knowing what the other's saying.
Nein.
He's going to pretend he doesn't understand English.
Was?
Yeah.
Was sprichst du?
Exactly.
Sprichst du? My German's horrible. I'm not going to do that. Is 24. 24th episode.
24th episode, and this episode is on sewer gators.
It's a really weird topic when you suggested it to me. It's like,
that's a genuine thing. It's like a fear of that.
I mean, I've heard of sewer alligators before, but I never thought about it as being. I don't know. It just never crossed my mind. It's a thing that I never thought of before, so I was just surprised by it. And yeah, it is, I guess, a genuine fear of some people, especially young children, like the boogeyman.
People like have a genuine fear. I think there's an actual phobia for people being scared of something coming out of their toilet and biting them. Mm-hmm. So it was really funny.
That's right.
But the beer I picked made me think of it.
Nice. I like when you do that. You do the beer and then
I just like to go backwards. It helps me better. Because then it opens up possibilities for new topics.
Yeah, that aren't on our list.
Especially as we do more episodes and it becomes more difficult to think of topics and then find beers that fit.
We've got plenty on our list, but it's always nice to come up with different ones so that we don't have to run through those as
that and
quickly.
Sometimes I just look at like a topic we have on the list and I was like, it doesn't jump out to me like something I want to talk about.
Right. Yeah, well, I'm sure there's plenty of those on there, so whatever.
Yeah.
Sewer gators. Surprisingly, there was a decent amount of information online. I didn't immediately think there would be, and then you said there's a whole Wikipedia article about it, which my entire notes is essentially, again, this episode, an exact copy and paste of the Wikipedia article.
Yeah, just tell everyone that.
So pull up the Wikipedia article for sewer alligator.
Read along.
And then just read along with us. But it's cool. It's a cool topic. I was excited to do research on it and talk about it. So,
tell me about your week.
What did you think of the beer?
That's not what I fucking said.
I mean, since last Wednesday, I got my COVID test. Wait, is it? Oh, it's really only been a week.
Yeah.
When did we record last episode? Oh, it was essentially last Friday, right?
Yeah.
It was Friday, okay. Well, we talked about, I got my first vaccination. Wasn't a test. And then you said you were almost in the process of getting yours.
Yeah, so I am in phase 1B, I believe.
Okay.
So healthcare workers and essential workers or whatever are in 1A, and then I'm in like 1B or something for essential workers because I work at a grocery store. So...
Nice.
It's considered essential.
Good.
So I would be getting my shot soon.
Very cool. Keep me posted on that.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I cry like a little bitch. I told you I got my blood drawn like yesterday, literally yesterday, and I got my blood results back already.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable how fast
they're very quick. Usually they're not.
Right.
Maybe just less people are going to like doctors right now because of COVID. Like less people are going to like their regular physicians.
Probably.
So I just went to get a consultation about my meds. But she was like, "Hey, you're here. Let's do a blood draw." And I was like, "Okay, I don't say no to my doctor."
Yeah, and overall, good news.
Yes, I got good news. And then I saw that like I've got like really good like white blood cell and red blood cell count, and I was like, "Yeah, you go blood cells. you go doing things." My freaking what is it? Cholesterol. Whoo! I hate that I even have to say that at the age of 25.
I didn't see what mine was in my results.
Mine's bad.
Start eating some Cheerios.
I don't like Cheerios. Every time I burp after I eat them, it's disgusting.
Yeah, there's a weird aftertaste. What about Honey Nut Cheerios?
No, it's even worse.
Those aren't as bad, really.
No, it's even worse.
I don't know
Such
anyone
a
who eats
weird
just
aftertaste.
regular Cheerios.
That's kind of probably the people who eat like Frosted Mini Wheats. You can't trust them.
I don't know. I like Frosted Mini Wheats.
I knew you'd fucking say that.
I hated them as a kid,
Weirdo.
but
They're disgusting.
they're not bad.
Nasty.
Yeah, Honey Nut Cheerios, I just saw they redesigned their Cheerio shape. So they're all hearts now again.
Oh.
Because they were hearts at one point.
Huh.
So.
But their mascot's a bee.
Yep, I don't. Well, honey, but.
Why not shape it like...
A bee?
No. Like a little hive.
Like a jar of honey?
Yeah.
Oh.
Aw.
Look, I can help
cute.
lower cholesterol.
Yeah.
That's wise.
Why
It's heart
can
healthy.
it help? Why can it help lower cholesterol? What's in it?
I don't know.
I don't either.
But boxes that have been sent over to like Asian countries, they actually censor that part on the box. They put like a piece of white paper or film over that where it says help lower cholesterol on the box of the Cheerios. They censor it.
Why?
Because it's not backed by science.
Oh.
It's just like
it's
this
just a statement.
Yeah, it's just a thing.
They don't have any proof of it. Wouldn't that be false advertising?
There hasn't been a scientific study, but I'm sure they could say one person that's ate Honey Nut Cheerios out of everyone who's ever had Honey Nut Cheerios before had lower cholesterol after they ate them. And then even with that one result, they could then make that statement.
See, I would have thought that the FDA would have been like, hey, this is not...
I mean, it probably prevents
no
companies like that from
study.
making a lot of unbacked claims.
Yeah.
But that one seems, pretty easy to do. But yeah, they actually censor it over in Asian countries.
Huh, wild.
Boxes get sent over there. Fun fact.
Interesting.
You had a dream.
Oh, yeah. So I had a dream that I finally remembered. And it was weird as shit. Like, I don't understand what it was telling me. Because I don't know. From what I remember, I was like leaving like a building, a convention of some kind, and there were these people that came up behind me, and it was like a family with, I want to say, 3 teenage daughters, a mom, no dad, and like a son that was like on the spectrum. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know why. Mm-hmm. But he was like really big, like a tall dude on the spectrum. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, they asked me if I could give them a ride to the park to go rollerblading.
How are you going to fit 5 people in your car?
Just wait. So I was like, yeah, okay. I was like, why can't you drive yourselves? And they're like, they told me some reason, I don't remember why. So we like go to my car, and like my car turns into an RV somehow. Mm-hmm. Like there's a button you press.
Yeah, the RV button. That's in every car.
And it turns into an RV.
Sure.
But the RV didn't have sides, so I was like, "Oh, where are the sides? I gotta find the lever to pull for the sides."
Oh, right, yeah, it's a separate thing
to get the sides.
Right.
And I couldn't find it, and this family was getting so upset because they're like, "We're not gonna be able to go rollerblading. The sun's gonna go down." I was like, "I feel so bad," and then I somehow ended up in somebody like bedroom of like somebody. I don't know who. I think it was a child of some kind, like a teenager. And I think it was one of the teenagers that was in the group. And she kind of looked like Bella Thorne for some reason. Or there was a picture of Bella Thorne in her room or something. Like I remember that. And I don't know how I ended up in that room. And then I was somehow driving the RV, but the RV wasn't ready to be driven. So I was like, press the brake.
You didn't find the sides.
I didn't find the sides. I was like, press the brake. And so like I stopped and I was like at an intersection in a neighborhood. It was very weird. It did not end in a way that I remember. But it was very odd. And I don't know why.
That's remarkable what the brain can just come up with. When
Weird.
you're out of it.
Well then, sewer gators, like I was saying, the beer I picked, and I was going to tell you, okay, so this beer is from Arrowhead Ales Brewing Company. I passed a park called Arrowhead on my way here.
Oh.
I was like, oh, that's funny.
Interesting.
But the About Us for Arrowhead Ales is calling all beer drinkers. I'm not sure about you, but in college, beer to me was that light yellow stuff that was cheap enough to allow me to have a few solo cups worth, while at the same time gather up the remaining change for food and gas.
Yep.
I had no idea what else was out there. After graduating college and actually landing a real job, making consistent income,
good for you.
I was introduced to a little thing called hops. Coming to realize what IPA was, in addition to Belgians, Imperial Stouts, and Porters, I now know what true love is.
Aw.
I actually became interested in not only drinking good beer, but making it when I had some friends that were home brewers trying to replicate some of the styles. I sat in on a few brew days and helped out while learning about partial mashes and extracts, boiling the wort, and fermentation. I immediately started studying and researching, and I decided in 2009 to get my own setup going so I could achieve beer perfection. It was a no-brainer. I had to go all grain from the beginning, brewing 10-gallon batches on a single-tier brew stand with pumps, which made brewing that much beer possible for one person. I acquired some used kegs, which I cut open and welded in fittings to use as each vessel in the brewing process.
Wow.
I also got myself a fermentation chamber and learned about the proper way to grow and manage yeast. It was no time before the beer I was making was comparable to some of the best beers I had purchased, if I do say so myself.
Nice.
Now, not only am I obsessed with all the different beer styles, I'm also addicted to the brewing process. For the past several years, I've been brewing every style imaginable and entering them in competitions, with some great scores too, and sharing them with anyone willing to try and give an honest critique. After much trial and error, I've come up with several solid recipes. At this point, I am now ready to take these recipes to the next level and share the beer wealth with many people full time. Enter Arrowhead Ales. Arrowhead was the little subdivision I called home. When I fell in love with the beer making process, hence the name fell right into place. From the beginning, I've picked up a few good friends along the way who are as passionate as I am about beer, brewing, and business. The 3 Bs.
Yep.
Over the past few years now, we've been planning our ideal setup and have been brewing with local breweries willing to show us the ropes firsthand and provide an education in large-scale brewing. There is so much gratification in serving up pints of handcrafted beer to great people and watching them talk about it, and most of all, enjoy it. This is our passion and desire as much as it is the beer drinkers' quenched palates. Therefore, please join us in getting this thing off the ground and turn a beer lover's dream into an Arrowhead Ales reality. Sincerely, Mike Bacon, owner and head brewer.
Mike Bacon.
You
said this was 2009?
2009.
Is when he started all this or when the brewery opened?
When he started all this.
Oh, wow.
When he started it all. The beer we are drinking today is called Party Gator.
Perfect.
Yeah, it is. You're going to love the can art. It's cute. It is a hazy India pale ale hopped with Sabro and Azaka.
Ooh.
6.8% AVB and ABV.
You got it.
ABV.
ABV.
And 32 IBU.
hazy IPAs. And those hops don't sound like anything we've had before. So
No,
that's cool.
it has no score on Beer Advocate.
What are we doing?
0, nothing, zilch, no reviews, no
insane.
opinions. It's got nothing.
Ridiculous. Wait, where is this? Where is Arrowhead?
Illinois.
Where in Illinois?
I didn't look. I'm about to. But yeah, IPA New England. And it's got nothing. No score, not even a picture. It's got some reviews on Untappd. But I don't like their reviewing process because it's a little odd.
It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, New Lenox. That's right. They're in New Lenox.
Oh, wow. Huh.
2101 Calistoga Drive, New Lenox, Illinois. 60451.
Nice. I wonder if our boy Jack has had anything by this brewery.
I don't know. Maybe. I was going to look up something else about them. I was trying to find when they actually opened their brewery.
Oh, yeah. If he started in 2009, how much time elapsed between him doing his stuff solo and then opening a brewery?
Oh, hey, they have 2 job openings.
4?
Stock food items, prepare food items, cook food items. One's a server and one's a line cook.
Okay, you be the server. I'll be the line cook. Let's go.
This is a plan.
Then we get free beer.
Yes, genius. I'm trying to see. Oh, a couple of my friends like them on Facebook.
Oh, interesting.
There you go. I can't find when they actually opened their doors. It doesn't really say much about their tap room either.
Well, I remember what I had to do for one of the breweries. I think it was Tangerine Tornado. Mm-hmm. I had to look on their Facebook page and see what year they uploaded their first profile picture for their Facebook page. And that allowed me to infer, when that brewery may have opened. They opened a Facebook page around the same time.
Back I go. Okay, first one they posted was 2011.
Yeah.
And it's a keg, and it looks like it's in somebody's neighborhood. Interesting.
Arrowhead
They got a picture of Party Gator on here.
Ales.
Ooh, they do ribs.
Save. Want to go. You want me to get the beer?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything else I needed to read. Okay, please enjoy the can art.
That's pretty dope.
He's a little party gator. He's got a little hat. His little tail's got a wound on it. Poor baby.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So if you've been listening, the name of the beer is Party Gator.
Yeah.
If you imagine a party gator in your mind, that's what's on the can.
Yes.
It's pretty much, he's doing a little fist bump, too.
Yes.
See that?
Or he's dancing, maybe.
We make beer here.
It's got some solo cups. He's got a little party hat on.
What is it? Sabro and Azaka hopped.
It says, crank up the tunes, tap that keg, it's time to rage.
I like the metallic orange.
I do too.
It's pretty neat.
The description is juicy, chuggable, hazy.
Nice.
Oh, I smell it all the way over here. Why does it smell good? You don't like it? Do you like it?
No, I love it.
Okay, good.
I'm just sitting here like...
It smells so good.
I just want to sit here and smell it.
I would wear this as a perfume. This smells so good. Like, that is a good smelling beer. What the hell?
I was going to say, our best smelling beer, if you didn't hear me.
I'm not even trying on the pour. Very, very bubbly, very carbonated. The foam is not as thick as the beer that we did in last episode. What was it, Scarlet Fire?
Yes.
So it is dissipating very quickly. It's not very thick when you pour. The foam looks very light and very, very bubbly. Ooh, Zach got a very good pour. But like we were saying, the smell is amazing. I can't wait to taste it. I love going into these episodes kind of without a review because like we have no idea. And we actually have to try and give a description.
What was the other hazy IPA we did?
I thought we've done a few, or at least one other. Color is very similar to orange juice.
Yeah. first one we did is Bat Squatch.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's it.
Oh, we've only ever done... Oh, well, we loved Batscotch, so this is a great sign.
I bet this will be very similar. If not, I'm guessing it'll be more fruit forward.
Yeah.
Much more sweet based on the smell.
Yeah, we've been surprised before.
Yeah, I was taking a picture this way.
Remember Beezer?
But, yeah.
We were like, wow, this smells like pure fruit. Doesn't taste like it.
Yeah, orange juice color. You can't see through it, hence hazy IPA.
Yes.
The smell is just very...
pleasant.
Very sweet and very fruity.
Look at that. That's a good head.
Honestly.
Give me a little tink and sip. Oof.
Yup.
Oh, that's a good beer. That's smooth.
It is very smooth.
Mm-hmm. Those hops are interesting on the palate.
I was going to say it's not better at all. Maybe the finish.
Yes, the finish is better.
Slightly better. Not in a bad way. Mm-mm. It is interesting though. This is not a beer that I've like the flavor profile. Something I've never had before in a beer. And I think it's got something to do with the hops. I've never heard or seen these hops before. Mm-hmm. I think it's brand new to us.
Okay, so smooth to drink. I'm trying to get a flavor profile out of this thing.
I tasted a little bit of orange, orange in the top.
Mm-hmm. I burped and I got something.
Yeah, different burp.
Like deep in there.
Ooh.
Kind of like, you know, that beer that had clove in it? It was kind of like that.
I think it definitely did do a little bit of a 180 based on the smell of the beer. Mm-hmm. Just like you were saying, just like Beezer, where the smell is very sweet and fruit forward.
Yes.
The taste isn't quite as much.
It is not sweet and fruity like the beer smell would have you think. Granted, I smell it and it's not like it's not as pure fruit as like Sailor's Kush was. Mm-hmm. You could still smell like a little bit of bitterness in the hops, so there's still like a decent aroma profile that's there, if that makes sense.
I think it's very akin to Beezer as far, even though they're different beers, as far as smell versus what you actually taste in the glass. But
this also feels like mouthfeel wise, it's kind of I want to say thicker. Like the liquid feels thicker.
Yeah. I don't know if that's got anything to do with the haziness. Probably does.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, the burp is interesting.
I told you.
What is that? It's got to be one of the hops. Mm-hmm. The hops are. It's a very interesting choice for a hazy IPA to use those hops. I know there was another beer where I think in the earlier episodes I was like actually talking about the hops that they used. I hadn't done that recently. I'd be interested to check out what these hops, like the flavor profile of these hops, would be.
They were right. It is easy to chug.
Oh yeah,
and you know what? It is juicy.
It's super drinkable. Yeah, very fruity.
Yes.
Yeah, juicy.
Yeah, juicy. I'm looking up the Azaka hops.
It tastes like juice, but also beer. Juice beer.
Okay. Named for the Haitian god of agriculture. It boasts an intense tropical fruit profile, excellent aromatic qualities, and it's...
The smell is just
The
incredible.
sensory is intense and tropical.
What about the other one? Sabro hops.
Okay, a second. Okay, so Sabro brand HBC 438 is the newest aroma hop release from the Hop Breeding Company. It's notable for its complexity of fruity and citrus flavors. It imparts distinct tangerine, coconut, tropical fruit, and stone fruit aromas with hints of cedar. I think that's what's in the burp. Cedar.
Could be.
Mint and cream.
Yeah, I think that's the weird one.
I think that the cedar, I think the Sabro one is what's hitting the back of my throat and it's in the burp, which I love that is a part of my comparison. How is your burp?
I think the one that I think that's the hop that actually
Stands out.
puts a real spin on this beer.
I think it makes it different. I think if they didn't do the Sabro hop, it would be just a fruity beer.
Yeah.
That is not
Fruity, hazy IPA.
Yes,
This
and
is unique.
it wouldn't make it different. But I think with that Sabro hop, it leaves a taste in your mouth that is very pleasant.
See, now that you say cedar, it's like piney almost.
It's to the forefront of your mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you put a word to it, you can't
Like, oh
help.
yeah, I can taste that. Yeah, the aroma is just pleasant. I tasted orange.
Yes.
Right from the get go.
I would honestly say it's more tangerine than orange. But they're kind of similar.
Yeah. Delicious. I love it.
This is a really good beer.
And it's. I said it was going to be very similar to Bat Squatch. It really isn't.
It's not.
Bat Squatch was a much different beer, even though they were both hazy IPAs, and I loved Bat Squatch. We should give some of the older ones another try
Someday.
someday, but
We'll go back and like re-review them for like a special bonus episode or something.
this is good. Good pick.
I'm going to be the first review of this on Beer Advocate because I think this is great.
Do it. Make sure you include a burp section. Yeah, so far this is our highest ranked beer. bit.ly/BAF list. It's also in the description of our episodes if you want to check out the beer list. All of our beers and breweries we post there along with our scores.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned, you could pull up sewer alligators on Wikipedia and just follow along with us here. So sewer alligator stories date back to the late 1920s and early 1930s. In most instances, they are part of contemporary legend. They are based upon reports of alligator sightings in rather unorthodox locations, in particular, New York City.
Yes.
The New York Times reports the city rescues several alligators per year. Some directly from homes, where they are kept as legal pets, which can be legally ordered online in other states and legal to mail when small. And some from outside, where they can attract considerable attention, though mostly above ground. And I put in parentheses, what does mostly above ground mean? So that means they rescue some of these outside below ground? Though escapees and former pets may survive for a short time in New York sewers, long-term survival is not possible due to low temperatures and the bacteria in human feces. Sewer maintenance crews insist there is no underground population. Many have even questioned how accurate the original stories are, and some have even suggested they are fictions created by this guy named Teddy May.
You better not go into any of the original stories.
I don't. Who was the commissioner of sewers at the time. Interviews with him were the basis of the first published accounts of sewer alligators. However, the story of the sewer gator in New York City is well known and various versions have been told. As late as the middle of the 20th century, souvenir shops in Florida, and if I do start mentioning stuff that you cover, interrupt me, sold live baby alligators in small fish tanks as novelty souvenirs. Tourists from New York City would buy a baby alligator and try to raise it as a pet. When the alligator grew too large for comfort, the family would proceed to flush the reptile down the toilet. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What happens next varies. The most common story is that the alligators survive and reside within the sewer and reproduce, feeding on rats and garbage, growing to huge sizes and striking fear into sewer workers. In Robert Daly's book, The World Beneath the City, published in 1959, he comments that one night a sewer worker in New York City was shocked to find a large albino alligator swimming towards him. Do you talk about this?
Go on.
Weeks of hunting followed. The Journal of American Folklore has this to say on the subject. Quote, in 1959, a book entitled The World Beneath the City was published by Lippincott. Written by Robert Daly, it is a history of the problems involved in the development of the network of utilities beneath Manhattan Island. And in the midst of the stories of engineering problems and political deals is a chapter entitled Alligators in the Sewers. Do you talk about this? Do you talk about this?
Repeat it.
The chapter entitled Alligator in the Sewers?
No.
In the book?
No, you're good.
It is based on the author's interviews with Teddy May, who had been commissioner of sewers in New York City for some 30 years. According to May, sewer inspectors first reported seeing alligators in 1935, but neither May nor anyone else believed them. Instead, he set men to watch the sewer walkers to find
I lied. I do talk about that.
You talk about this?
Yeah, my bad.
About Teddy May? About how they were obtaining whiskey?
Not about whiskey.
Oh. Yeah, he sent them down into the sewers, not to look for the alligators, but he wanted to find out how they were obtaining whiskey down in the pipes. And I'm not sure if he was talking about the men or the gators.
The gators are alcoholics?
If the gators were getting whiskey, how they were smuggling whiskey down
Little
there.
alligator speakeasy. Maybe
Yep.
they were shoving the whiskey inside the alligators. You know, like they like put things like drug mules.
Yeah.
You know, like you go across like a airport and
Yep.
What is it? NSA,
TSA?
yeah, whatever. It's like you can tell I don't fly often. TSA is like you got something in your butthole. It's bags of coke.
Shit, I do.
How did that get in there? What a wild night in Tijuana.
Persistent reports, perhaps including the newspaper item discovered by Coleman, caused May to go down to find for himself.
I don't talk about that.
And he said the beam of his own flashlight had spotlighted alligators whose length on the average was about 2 feet.
It's not very big.
Nope. He started an extermination campaign using poison bait, followed by flooding of the side tunnels.
I did talk about that, but it's fine. It's whatever.
There is no mention of blind albino alligators, and May suggests the baby alligators were dumped down storm drains rather than flushed down the toilet.
Why would you want to get an alligator in New York? Like, I have people, I know that, like, several people, not like personally, but just I am aware of them, that have pet alligators in the state of Illinois. Like, they came into my previous job.
I don't think that should be a thing.
I think it's bad for the alligator. So they come in and they're like, oh yeah, I got a lizard. What setup do I need? And I'm like, what kind of lizard? And they're like, well, I can't really tell you. I'm like, what did you get?
Can't really tell you.
What did you get? And they're like, I got an alligator. And I'm like, you know that's illegal. They're like, I know. I'm like, good fucking luck. I'll pray for you.
We don't sell many things here for alligators, but...
Oh, for a baby alligator, I could get them a setup. An adult alligator, you're fucked. Sorry. They never think it through. It's like people who think teacup pigs are a thing. Motherfuckers don't say small.
No. Let's see. An additional reference to the sewer alligator exists in Thomas Pynchon's first novel, V. It fictionalizes the account stating Macy's was selling them for a time for 50 cents.
Macy's?
Macy's. Eventually, the children became bored with the pets, setting them loose in the streets as well as flushing them into the sewers.
How the fuck do you get bored of an alligator? They are so cool.
They're children, you know?
Kids suck.
Rather than poison, shotguns were used as the remedy.
Yeah, that's the remedy.
Benny Profane, one of the main characters in the book, continues to hunt them as a full-time job until the population is reduced.
Interesting.
Some versions go further to suggest that after the alligator was disposed of at such a young age, it would live the majority of its life in an environment not exposed to sunlight, and thus it would apparently, in time, lose its eyesight and the pigment in its hide, and that the reptile would grow to be blind and completely albino.
Is that how that works?
Not how that works. Another reason why an albino alligator would retreat to an underground sewer is because of its vulnerability to the sun in the wild. As there is no dark pigment in the creature's skin, it has no protection from the sun, which makes it very hard for it to survive in the wild.
Okay, but my question is, if they were baby gators and they had pigment and they had eyesight, and they really didn't have like a strong food supply in the sewers, because I can't imagine that there's enough rats to sustain an alligator in the sewers. No. Couldn't they just find a way out of the sewers and they'd still have their pigment and be fine to be out in sunlight? Because the sewer got to end somewhere.
Yeah, how... It's interesting. Where would they find their way out, though?
I mean, just follow the pipes. They got to end at some point.
Yeah, if they're going to end somewhere in the ocean... then
I mean, they won't be able to survive that.
Yeah, these gators would be accounted for
because that's how that works, though. No. From what I've seen of sewage plants,
there's like treatment facilities.
Yes, so they go to like these large treatment facilities where they're like doused with chlorine, like a high concentration of chlorine, and then they're put in another vat that like filters it over, and that's doused with like another chemical that nullifies the chlorine, and then it gets reused.
Yeah, so I don't know. And then there's the popular depictions of like sewer or gators popping up through manhole covers.
Yeah.
Like
there's art pieces.
Yeah,
there's like one or two in New York. There's one of like an alligator. I'm gonna show you it. I don't know if you saw it. Of an alligator in like bronze reaching out of a manhole to grab a baby by the diaper.
I think I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then I did have a Oh, I'll show that in a second. Some people even spoke of mutant alligators living in the sewers, which have been exposed to many different types of toxic chemical waste, which altered them, making them deformed and sometimes even larger and with strange coloring.
Okay.
A gigantic mutant alligator based on these myths appears in the 1980 film Alligator.
Huh.
And
Why
then
have I never seen that?
I have this
I
article.
love alligators.
Oh, son of a bitch. This fucking ad block shit. We see that you're using ad blocker. Yeah, I don't want to fucking see your ads.
You tell them, honey.
So I guess I'll disable my fucking ad blocker. Oh my god, look at all this shit.
What is all of that?
The whole website turns into fucking ads. That's why I have ad blocker, because I can't read anything
He can't read.
on your stupid website, because everything is ads.
He doesn't know how to read.
Your ad is covering the headline up. Bro. Okay, so I found this Daily Mail article of someone finding an alligator. This is from December 2016. It's on Daily Mail. The headline is, "The Joys of Living in Florida. Man finds large alligator hissing in the sewer outside his house while checking the mail." Another Florida man story.
Good times. Florida Man needs to be its own fucking episode.
We should do a Florida man episode. That'd be cool.
Okay, it's on our list now.
Luis Camacho heard a loud hissing noise while checking his mail in Apopko.
Apopoko.
No, it's just Apopko.
Apopoko.
Apopko.
Apopoko. I just want to argue with you today.
Yeah, it's
What
not.
is it? Let me see how it's spelled.
It's not that though. Apopko.
Apopko.
Popko.
Apopko.
He got down on the street and saw an alligator in the sewer entrance.
Like you do.
The gator was too big to get out, so Camacho took a video. He says he has seen the same gator around his house before, but not in the drain.
Not in the drain. Hey, buddy. What you doing? Hi. Fucking love alligators. They're so cute.
He looks so scared.
I know. I feel so bad.
So we'll provide a link to that article, maybe a picture. You can watch the video on the article, as long as you disable your ad blocker, which is dumb. But there's a still from the video that we'll put on our Podbean as well. So at Popco.
Popco.
And my last thing, fun fact.
Yeah.
1973 children's book, The Great Escape, or The Sewer Story,
Yeah.
by Peter Lippman, anthropomorphizes these alligators and has them dress up in disguise as humans and charter an airplane to fly them home to the Florida swamps. That's it.
As one is apt to do. Let's get into this.
Let's get in.
Let's go. Oh wait, let's get ready to rumble. I am going to read to you from a few sources.
Uh-huh.
But first I'm going to show you some pictures.
Wonderful.
Here's this one. Here's this one.
Oh.
Here's that one. I love alligator tongues. I think they're really cute.
They're gigantic.
They're adorable. And scrolly. This is the statue I was talking to you about.
Yeah, I saw that.
I like that he has human hands. And a bow tie. That gator is ready for business.
Can you download all these and
Yes, I can.
either upload them to Dropbox or
Remind
just
me.
send them to me?
I'll send it to you. Okay. The first one I'm going to read is from Snopes.
Okay.
Just because I love Snopes.
Yeah.
So this guy did some digging around in like old news articles. It's long been rumored there are thriving colonies of alligators lurking in New York City sewer systems. Supposedly baby alligators brought back as pets from Florida end up being dumped into the sewer system when they outgrow their young and innocent stage. They're not very innocent when they're young. From such an inglorious beginning, these discarded gators grow to immense size and daily terrorize all those foolish enough to risk a visit to the bowels of the city. Who is in New York and says, I want to go to the sewers? We've all heard it, and it ain't true. It's amazing who believes in those invisible alligators, too. As the director of the New York Sea Grant Institute in Albany said to the New York Times in 1982, no less a source than all the new that's fit to print reported a veritable rash of saurian sightings in the city sewers through the 1930s.
A lot of alliteration there.
You know, if you stopped right there, you might walk away from all this convinced there are alligators down there. But it's amazing what a little digging will uncover. Or in this case, not uncover. Figuring any alligators in our sewers, I'm okay, in our sewer stories would be considered newsworthy by the New York press, I went through the New York Times index from 1905 to 1993 in search of alligator stories. Then I located each story on microfilm. Here's a summary of what I found. September 4th, 1927, a good-sized Florida alligator found in a storm-swollen stream in Middletown, New York. It was later discovered that the alligator had escaped several months ago from a pan on the premises of Dr. F.E. Fowler. July 3rd, 1929, a 2-foot alligator found in the grass at someone's home in Point Jervis, New York. May 22nd, 1931, another 2-foot gator found in the bushes on someone's estate in Pleasantville, Westchester, New York. June 30th, 1932, police organized alligator hunt in Westchester County after 2 boys bring in 3-foot dead alligator and claim the Bronx River is swarming with them. July 2nd, 1932, the alligator hunt was called off after it was decided that the boys had seen snakes or lizards in the river, not gators. The dead gator they'd brought in was identified as a pet crocodile, which had escaped from a neighbor's backyard a few weeks prior to all the excitement.
Aww.
September 12, 1933, a squadron of riflemen was organized in Belleville, New Jersey, today to hunt for alligators in the Passaic. Did you go over that? Passaic River? Passaic River.
I don't think so.
Bellevue police said it is probable the alligators were some of the 6 reptiles which disappeared last year from a lagoon in Military Park, Newark. February 10th, 1935, boys shoveling snow into a manhole discovered a 6-foot alligator trying to make his escape from the sewer.
How are they shoveling snow into a manhole?
Get it out of the way, I guess. The boys lassoed the sickly saurian with a clothesline and dragged him up to street level. Because the gator snapped at the kids and thus convinced them he could be indeed be dangerous, they attacked him with shovels and killed him. Speculation was the gator had fallen off a passing steamer, swum to shore, and found the entrance to the sewer. March 8th, 1935, a seal and 2 alligators turn up in Westchester County. A 3-foot gator was found in northern Yonkers by Joseph Domamico yesterday morning. Another twice that size was found dead on the east side of Grassy Sprain Reservoir. My shoulder's itchy. June 1st, 1937, a barge captain captures a 4-foot alligator in the East River. The gator was clearly exhausted and seemed in no humor to fight. July 7th, 1937, there's like this huge amount of them in the 30s. Passengers waiting on the eastbound platform of the Brooklyn Museum station of the IRT subway just before midnight were startled by the sudden appearance of a 2-foot alligator which had emerged from a refuse can. As to how the beastie might have gotten in there, passengers on the station told the police that shortly before the alligator appeared, a man put a large bundle in the can. August 16th, 1938, 5 alligators caught in Huguenot, a lake in Westchester, New York, the largest of which was 19 inches. August 17th, 1942, a 4-foot alligator, thought to have escaped from an outdoor aquarium in a local home, was found in Lake Mindawaskan, Westfield, New Jersey. August 12th, 1982, a 26-inch alligator was found swimming in Kensico Reservoir in Westchester, New York. Everything happens in Westchester. Part of the New York City water supply system. All of these alligators were found in and around New York City, but only one had turned up in a sewer. Mind you, Westchester County looks like a fine place to avoid if you're not interested in alligators. Not surprisingly either, for alligators thrive in Florida, and it's hard to believe creatures that accustomed to a warm climate would survive in the New York sewer system.
Right.
A New York winter is hard on native New Yorkers. I wouldn't think a colony of gators would stand a chance in that cold.
No.
Nature writer Diane Ackerman has this to say about alligators' longevity under these conditions. They couldn't survive for any length of time in the sewers, only a few months at the most, because they can't live long in salmonella or E. coli organisms that one usually finds in sewage. Also, alligators live at a temperature between 78 and 90 degrees. So imagine trying to survive in frigid water like that when you are a reptile. Okay, yeah, that's just Teddy May stuff.
I mean, when I was talking about that stuff and you said, oh yeah, I talked about that, I just stopped where I was in the sentence and then went to the next bullet point. So
I think you mostly covered what I was going to go over.
I didn't really
anyways.
complete most of my points. So if you want to cover it.
That's not a big deal.
I mean, after all, that information is easily accessible on, again, the Wikipedia article for sewer alligators. So if you really are inclined to know what everything about Teddy May, it's on there.
Okay, so you went over that the beam of his own flashlight had spotlighted alligators whose length on the average was about 2 feet. He began baiting the alligators with poison and repeatedly flushing out the tunnels to drive them outwards to main pipelines where hunters were waiting. In 1937, the alligators were confirmed gone, and then the sightings between 1948 and 1966 were never confirmed. Okay, the most widely cited of the articles that alligator found in Uptown Sewer was a news article that came out, and it's the most widely cited. In February 10th of 1935, the headline "Alligator Found in Uptown Sewer." The article described several people, led by a teenager named Salvatore Condalu something, who had caught and ultimately killed a 7 to 8 foot long alligator they discovered beneath an open manhole on the 123rd Street near Harlem River. The occasion of this reexamination of these stories is the 50th anniversary of the publication of Robert Daly's 1959 The World Beneath the City. The reporter interviewed Daly and others last week for this new article, and they conducted a great deal of research on this topic in the beginning years of the 70s. There's a unique discovery that alligators in the sewers were not all just legendary, not from the 1960s, as folklorists thought, but had a firm newspaper history 3 decades earlier. So the previous stories would be that these alligators were brought back by New York families, rich New York families, who'd made some poor buying decisions while on vacation in Florida. Once they tired of their new pets, or at least realized quite how big and hungry they were going to get, the owners would flush them down the toilet. That's at least the main explanation for how many people claim to have spotted them.
See, that makes me think. So they flush them down the toilet because they realize that how big they're going to get, but they still need to be small enough to be able to flush down a toilet.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's still pretty small.
Have you seen a baby alligator?
I mean,
They honestly, they're not like super tiny when they come out of the egg.
Right.
They're not gigantic, but they're not
it's
tiny.
like, imagine the size when they buy them, and then they bring them home, and then it's probably not much longer to where they grow a little bit larger to where they can still be flushed down a toilet.
Honestly, okay. You've seen baby alligators, right?
Yeah.
That size, in my opinion, would be the size that would fit down a toilet. What they hatch from.
Right.
Once they get bigger, I really don't think you'd be able to flush them.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It's like, so I don't really know about that. Flushing down the toilet.
I think they grow pretty quickly.
Right. So, and it's not like once you realized how big they were going to get, it's like that would take a couple days maybe for it to grow to that size to where it can no longer be flushed down a toilet. But
I think that it probably bites them, and then they realize that this is not the pet for my child. I mean, it's tiny, but it's still got that closing pressure of its jaw. Like, they're intense. Nile alligators? Crocodiles? No, crocodiles. Crocodiles.
Yep.
Yeah, they get huge.
Yep.
Anyways, the story persists because it actually seems to have a grain of truth to it. We can't verify the tales of posh brats flushing innocent baby gators down toilets, but sightings, some verified, some probably made up, have been a feature on the city's newspapers since the 1930s, like I went over. And then you went over it, that the first sighting of an alligator was in 1932 in New York Times. Was found lounging on the Bronx River. You went over that, right? Or did I go over that? I went over that. Nailed it. There was an update in February of 2018 because a concerned elementary school teacher has been in touch with the writer of this article from Maryland, worrying that this article might give impressionable students the wrong idea. So to clarify, while the alligators have often been found in and around New York, it seems unlikely that they lived in the sewers, or at least not for long, since they'd probably die of cold and disease.
Of course, there was some lady who had to be like,
Actually, my students are scared that there might be alligators in the sewer.
I find this article inaccurate and offensive.
Rather than fearing them, New Yorkers seem to view the city's phantom alligators as a source of pride. For the past 4 years, every 9th February has seen the celebration of the city's annual Alligators in the Sewers Day.
What?
Manhattan Borough historian Michael Miscone.
You said February 9th? Mm-hmm. It's coming up.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh,
who
we gotta
launched
celebrate.
the event on the 75th anniversary of the 1935 sighting. Claims he created it not to poke fun at the story, but to emphasize its veracity. The concept of alligators in city sewers is a great myth. And having done a little research on it, I found that it is a strong basis in reality. I felt some people should know that. At this year's event, there were speakers and a quiz, and the first 100 guests received a free plastic baby alligator. The New York obsession with alligators seems all the stranger when you consider the fact that smaller reptiles very differently are swimming around beneath the city's streets. And no one seems to be very concerned about them. Snapping turtles are regularly spotted in sewage treatment systems. But for, what was his last name? Michael, they simply don't have the same appeal. They're not nearly as exotic or dangerous as alligators, and they're native to this area. So what's the big deal of alligators, of turtles swimming in my poop?
What's the big deal?
What's the big deal? No one cares about snapping turtles. The state lawmakers don't agree. In 2006, they designated the snapping turtle the official state animal. The official state animal.
Nice.
Silly. The alligator story has also imprinted itself, albeit less deeply, on Paris. In 1984, sewer workers under the Pont-something Pont-Neuf bridge found a Nile alligator, which had supposedly been eating rubbish and rats to survive. It was christened Eleanor and still resides in an aquarium in the city of Venice. Venice. In true Parisian style, the city has yet to celebrate anything as undignified as an alligator in the sewers. How dare.
Poor alligator. Just trying to survive. Feeding off rats and garbage.
I don't know why the article brings it up, but in London, there are no alligators that we know of. And fears instead tend to focus on giant rats. Perhaps not surprisingly, since they carried the bubonic plague that managed to wipe out half that city's population in the 14th century.
Yeah.
As with New York alligators, the problem is apparently the fault of a particular class. In Elton's Ecologists, a history of the now defunct Oxford Bureau of Animal Population, author Peter Crowcroft, what a name, blames the apartment-dwelling middle classes for feeding the sewer rats. Sewer rats do well in areas which are thickly populated by humans who are neither very rich nor very poor. Such people, especially apartment dwellers, tend to waste food, often flushing it into the drains in useful fragments, instead of converting it into unavailable sludge with grinding machines installed in sinks.
Well, I can't put food down my sink, and I also don't have a disposal.
I do.
So it all goes in the garbage.
So when the mutant rats really do take over, we all know who to blame.
You.
I have a garbage disposal.
Oh yeah. Well,
you don't.
No. Well, I can't fit food in my sink, so.
Yeah, but it's for people who don't have garbage disposals.
Yeah, but I don't put food in my sink because it won't go down.
Okay, but you put it in trash, which means it just attracts it to landfills.
Well,
it doesn't get to be. It
go
doesn't
in the
get
sewer.
composted. Get a compost.
Sure, it doesn't go in the sewer though.
Can't believe you.
Where the alligators eat it.
Yeah, but mine's sludge. So
That's
it's not
fine.
helpful for rats.
Yeah, sure. So we're not blaming you.
Yeah.
Right. Not blaming me
Even though
either.
you said you, looked directly at me and said you.
I didn't understand the first time. Not blaming me either.
I'm sure.
Not my fault.
Did you read the original story?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's just a quick little thing. The tale that started is a young boy gets a baby alligator for his birthday and flushes it down the toilet, not knowing what else to do about it. Years later, as the story goes, that same boy reaches into a sewer grate for a lost baseball, and the clown, reaches out and takes his arm. And his arm is ripped off by his former pet.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the alligator reaches out and eats him, but
It reaches out and grabs his arm and
you
rips
said
it
the
off.
clown. Oh, you were joking.
Yes. No. The boy reaches into a sewer grate for a lost baseball, and his arm is ripped off by his former pet, much like Pennywise the clown. Now monstrous and ravenous for blood.
That's what you get for flushing an animal down the toilet.
I know.
That is still alive.
That's what you get, motherfucker. What happens to goldfish that get flushed down the toilet? That happens all the time.
They probably decompose.
You think they get, like, broken down by that ammonia? I think they would die, like, not quickly. Goldfish are pretty hardy.
Well, I mean, they're not alive when they get flushed down the toilet.
Oh, there's some people that flush them live because they don't want to take care of them anymore because they get too big.
Yeah, they would die. You think they would die quickly or not quickly?
Not quickly.
I would think they would die pretty quick. I don't know.
I don't know.
You know more about fish than I do.
So the World Beneath the City, that included an interview with the man who was claiming to have been a sewer commissioner in the 1930s, when a campaign was mounted to clean all the alligators out of the sewer system. This seemed like solid evidence that even if if alligators no longer lurk in the city's sewers, they did at one time and were enough of a menace that the city initiated a program to eradicate them. However, Brunfand notes further investigation revealed that the man had never been a commissioner, and in fact had delighted in spinning outrageous yarns.
He's a phony.
You're a big fat phony. Like I previously said, that they could not survive. In that 1982 interview with the New York Times, sewer borough spokesman John T. Flaherty said, "I could cite you many cognate logical reasons why the sewer system is not a fit habitat for an alligator. But suffice it to say that in the 28 years I have been in the sewer game," put that on a t-shirt, "neither I nor any of the thousands of men who have worked to build, maintain, or repair the sewer system has ever seen one. And a 10-foot, 800-pound alligator would be hard to miss."
Right.
That's it.
What is your opinion? Do you think they're a real thing?
No.
I don't think they're super prevalent. I don't think there's like a large number of gators existing in the sewers of New York or really anywhere.
No.
But I would challenge and say that there has had to be at least one.
I would not argue that at some point someone has flushed something that should not be flushed, like an alligator down the toilet.
And even that article that I showed, someone was literally filming a gator in a sewer. Mm-hmm. So
Okay, but that literally could have just been a grown-ass gator that ended up in the front end of that
that's
sewer.
True. So I feel like there had to be at least one case of a legitimate gator or something that resembled a gator. Maybe it wasn't 10 feet. Maybe it was only 2 feet. That showed up in the sewers somewhere. And that turned into a huge thing.
Oh, outcry of...
People took
Gators everywhere!
And ran with it, right. So, yeah, I don't think it's a legitimate problem. I thought it was pretty amusing when you were talking about how that Thomas May, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
He was Teddy May. He was flushing stuff and like trying to flush the pipes to the main pipes, and then they had people like ready to ambush the gators.
And then it turned out that he wasn't a commissioner at all.
Right. I think that's funny that they had actually hired people to
just stand at the end of a sewage system and hunt gators. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. It's not sporting at all. I just looked up an article on why you should never flush fish down the toilet. Well, one, I always tell people it's because goldfish are invasive. They are monstrous eating machines.
Oh.
And you put one into a pond, they get gigantic. And they would not have anything to prey on them. So they are beasts.
But I mean like dead goldfish.
Dead goldfish, they just decompose.
Yeah, no point in, yeah.
A live goldfish, there's several things that could happen. because fish are supposed to be acclimated to water in order to survive in their ecosystem or whatever you want to call it, they need to have a water cycle. And a water cycle is a balance of your pH, your nitrite, your nitrate, your ammonia, to show that your tank is safe for it to live in. And then if you have water sensitive fish, it'd be like a sensitivity to alkalinity or a sensitivity
Right.
to water hardness, which goldfish are not sensitive to water hardness because they're decently hardy if you take the proper care of them. But if you were to put a live goldfish in the toilet, they can handle cold water, but the drastic change in temperature touching that water, because it is not chlorinated, well, it's toilet water, so it's technically chlorinated on some level, but they die from that most likely.
Okay.
Or they'd make it through the sewage system and wind up at a sewage treatment plant.
Interesting.
I've showed you a picture of like a huge ass goldfish, right?
I mean, I've seen huge ass goldfish
They
before
get
too.
big,
Yeah.
man.
You had a few at your store, your old place.
That's not even as big as I get.
I like koi fish. I think it'd be cool to.
They get big. They're a little dumb.
Yeah, if I ever get rich and grow old and have a lot of money, damn, that's a big goldfish. It's like the size of a carp.
They're in the carp family. And carp are also invasive.
Oh, but yeah, if I ever get rich and have a lot of money, I'm gonna have a koi pond in my backyard.
I would live somewhere that is not near predators because they will just feed off those koi.
Oh yeah, I bet.
I had so many people that would come in and be like, what do you recommend for raccoons or birds of prey? I'm like, you need to get pond netting. Why don't you have pond netting? You live near the woods. What do you expect is going to happen to your $70 fish that you spent 10 years with?
There's a music store in Ludington, Michigan, that I visited several times.
Called the Paw and Raccoon.
Vacationing there. It's not called that.
Oh.
I don't know what it's called.
Upsetting.
But they have a koi pond in their business. It's pretty neat.
Yeah,
And then,
indoor ponds have become very popular.
yeah, and then you can ask the guy, and he'll give you some fish food and
Yeah.
throw it in there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're very pretty, but they're very dumb.
Very dumb.
Carp are not smart. Carp are annoying. But yeah, that's my segment. I'm a little all over the place because I was reading from like 4 different articles.
Yeah, you're flipping around all.
Yeah, I kept going between
Nice.
the two.
It's cool.
That is episode 24 on sewer gators.
That was
Zachary,
Alligators.
do you have anything to add?
I'm waiting for your catchphrase.
What did you think of the beer?
Yeah.
Did you finish it? I haven't finished mine yet.
You're almost done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned Beezer and how that was kind of like a. You said it was a 360, but that would just bring you right back to where you were.
A 180. I went in a full circle and I ended up right behind it again. I went in a 180.
And how that kind of spun
A
us around.
240.
It gave us a 240. This beer was similar. We, based on the smell, thought it was going to be very fruity, very sweet. Kind of like, what was that? Candy Crushable, with the sugar. Sweet, very sweet beer.
The lactose sugar.
Drinkable beer. It was not like that. I think that one hop strain that was in there definitely gave it a spin that
Yes,
made
it did. The Sabro.
extremely unique.
Yeah, the Sabro really took it for a different flavor profile.
So you get what was it, cedar? You get
Yeah.
a little bit piney taste to it in the finish. But there's also, it's very fruit forward, very drinkable, very smooth,
Yes.
hardly any bite.
I would argue with that.
A little bit of bitterness on
I say that there's bite.
the tail end, but I didn't have any bite to it. It wasn't a very overwhelmingly strong beer.
We've had heavier hopped beers before.
100%.
Much heavier, because this is just a hazy IPA.
Yeah.
We've had like double hopped.
It's mellow. It's
In
fruity.
comparison to that, but I still say that because of those two hops that we have never tried before, there's a bit of a bite on the tail end, like near the back of your throat.
Yeah. Yep. But it is extremely drinkable.
I enjoyed it.
Delicious.
Smell is wonderful. Like,
Yep.
I'm not kidding. I would wear this as like a perfume. Like, that
The smell is
it
good.
smells so good. Flavor wise, great hazy IPA. I kind of like it more than Bat Squatch.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
I like it more than Bat Squatch.
Wow. Okay.
I just think it's smoother to drink. I don't think Bat Squatch is as smooth. I think it was a little more bitter on the tongue.
I'll have to try Bat Squatch again. We should definitely.
Well, I bought it recently and had it again, so I'm like
Got it.
a little more like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. So the Bat Squatch was a little more bitter.
Uh-huh.
I think that this overall flavor profile is very good. It is very much tropical tangerine. I'm not getting coconut, like it said, but that again could just come down to the brewing process and what they brought out of the hops as they were brewing. But definitely tangerine. It is not a overly sweet beer, so if that is not your preference, I would definitely.
Yeah, definitely not like some of the other recent ones we've had.
Yes,
Where
it
they've
is
been pretty
very.
sweet.
Yeah, it is very different. It is very enjoyable. It is very easy to drink, in comparison to the 2 bonus episodes we did that have not come out yet.
Yep.
Those 2 were something. Did Scott drink it yet?
He hasn't gotten back to me. I don't
damn
think
it,
he's tried
Scott.
it yet, but
I want to know.
I warned him.
I want him to record his face as he tries it. Like, I want to see that. I like it. I recommend it. Good on you, Arrowhead Ales. You did a great job with this one. I would definitely like to try more from them.
And we should visit their
agree.
brewery again.
We'll make time.
We have a huge list of all these Chicago
quite a
breweries
few.
that we should check out.
We're gonna need to make like a day of it.
Hell yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But if you're around the area of New Lenox, definitely check them out.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you have to go out to Chicago, so you don't have to worry about being in the city.
I like this beer, and I'm sure they've got a bunch of other.
They have an extensive list. It's
really
not
good
super
tasting
long, but
beers.
they have some on their menu. It looks very interesting.
And I dig their story.
I also really dig the can art.
It is cool.
Very cute.
It is cute.
But yeah, I recommend it. Great beer.
Great beer.
Great beer.
And it's a great way to stay in shape.
And it's a great way to stay in shape. Drinking beer, great way to stay in shape.
beerandfearcast@gmail.com is our email if you want to
Yes.
send us stories or say hello or give us comments or whatever.
Or ask me out on a date.
Any episodes or ask Paige out on a date.
I'm single, ladies.
Frights and Flights at Beer and Cast. Nope.
Nope.
Beer and Fearcast at gmail.com
There
is
you
where
go.
you can send your Frights and Flights stories to.
With a beer recommendation.
With a beer
Please be
recommendation.
creative with a beer recommendation. That
Yeah,
is all
send
we
us something cool.
ask.
And obviously your paranormal or spooky story.
Mythical.
Yeah,
something,
whatever.
Just a story that you feel is like, this is crazy.
This is crazy. You guys should tell this and drink beer while you're
Yes.
telling it. And then Facebook, Twitter, Reddit,
Yes.
Instagram. Instagram, we're posting pictures of the brew that we're drinking every week.
Yep.
Tagging the beer, and then Paige's pets occasionally.
Yes.
And then the other websites you can keep up to date with our newest episodes. We release them every week, Wednesday at noon, and we'll have a post to the link on Spotify. And then our website's on Podbean if you want to look at the pictures that we talk about in each episode, the videos, articles that we mention. That's all going to be available on Podbean as well.
Yes, and I will send you those pictures shortly.
Don't forget.
Anything else you want to add?
No.
Have a good day. You can't take me anywhere.